Greetings, everyone. I want to talk about the upcoming powerful solar eclipse and lunar eclipse that are going to be a part of this upcoming lunar cycle starting on October 25th, when we have a partial solar eclipse at the time of the new moon, culminating in the full moon total lunar eclipse on November 8th. I'll talk more in depth about the total lunar eclipse in an upcoming video, but I want to talk more in depth in this video about the partial solar eclipse at the time of the new moon on October 25th. And let me show you the chart. Here is the chart for the new moon and partial solar eclipse on October 25th. As you can see, the sun and moon are at 2 degrees of Scorpio, and they're conjunct Venus, which is also at 2 degrees of Scorpio. Now, when Venus is conjunct the sun, it means she's not visible in the sky. Venus disappeared from her placement as a morning star at the beginning of September and won't reappear in the sky again until mid-December, when she emerges as an evening star. Remember that Venus goes through a cycle of about 9 months as a morning star, then she disappears from view and reemerges as an evening star, where she remains for approximately 9 months and then disappears from view again briefly to come back as a morning star. This time in Venus's cycle is when she's in her superior conjunction with the sun. In other words, she's moving around the backside of the sun from our Earth perspective and is in her longer period of disappearance until she again emerges mid-December in the evening sky. This is a time when Venus is in her own process of being in contemplation. I like to think of it as Venus is communing with the stars and is in her own inner process. And I do believe that the energies of this new moon, this partial solar eclipse, are a call for all of us to be in a process of inner meditation and reflection. Scorpio is the sign that is about transformation and diving deep into our inner process. Remember that when we're working with powerful configurations, we can work them in a conscious way, which means we're really working with those energies in our own inner process, or we can experience them externally if we're not working them consciously. And I think the energies of this new moon are very much a call for us to be in a process of transformation. Scorpio is that energy that is about death, rebirth, letting go of something that needs to be burned away. It's in order to move into new forms. It's the energy of alchemy. It's the energy of transformation. And I do believe that when we're in a powerful time of transformation, which we're in individually and collectively on the planet right now, it's important that we honor the phases of that rite of passage, that time of transformation. And the initial phases are about, what do we need to let go of? What are we needing to release, to be in this process of change and to open to moving into new ways of being? And this new moon is asking us to be in that process of releasing what we need to release, to open to the change and transformation that we're being called into individually and collectively, as we're letting go of the age of Pisces and preparing to move into the age of Aquarius and into those new paradigms and new ways of consciousness on the planet. This new moon is particularly powerful in its transformational energy because the sun and moon are also in an out of sign square with Pluto. Pluto is the ruler of Scorpio, and Pluto is intensifying this energy of transition and transformation that this new moon solar eclipse is calling us into. And remember, a solar eclipse is a wake-up call. It's asking us to stop, to pay attention, to be open to making some shifts, to being in that process of change. And it's important as we're in that process of transformation to allow ourselves to be in the mystery, to be in that energy of Scorpio, which is about entering into the darkness, entering into the underworld, being willing to let go of our sense of security, our sense of what's familiar, what gives us that sense of safety, to be in that vulnerable process of releasing old ways of being to prepare for the new paradigms and new ways of being that we're being called into. I do believe with Sun and Moon conjunct Venus, we're being prepared to shift our sense of self, to shift our values, to shift how we relate to our resources, Venus, to shift how we are in relationship as we're in this time of transformation. Now, I think this will likely on the global level be a time of turbulence. Because when you're not working these energies consciously, the energies of Scorpio can play out in terms of issues around power or around reactivity. And with that square with Pluto, we may see on the global scale turbulence, more struggle around certain people wanting to be in positions of power, issues around dominance. We're seeing the turbulence in the war between Russia and the Ukraine. We're seeing turbulence right now in Iran with the protests and efforts for women's rights to be honored and acknowledged. I think we're going to see increasing turbulence in the global community as we move into this time of the new moon and solar eclipse, because collectively we're in a transformational process. And what we're seeing is the struggle between those who want to cling to the old paradigms of power over and control, when the energies that we're moving into the new paradigms of the Aquarian Age are about people being empowered in community, in collaboration with and for each other. It's about letting go of those paradigms of the past of patriarchy, power over, domination, exploitation, control. And Pluto in the final degrees of the sign of Capricorn is leading to the destruction of those old systems and structures that are out of balance, that are about abuse of power. But as we're in that transformational process, you're seeing some of the backlash with those who are clinging to the old paradigms and wanting to assert that sense of power and control. So the key for us is to not get caught in that turbulence, to stay in your own inner process, to honor this time as a time of deep reflection. Allow yourself to go within, to feel whatever is coming up for you emotionally, to be aware of any issues that may be in the shadows in your life, any issues that have been pushed into the unconscious, that have been pushed into the darkness, that need to come to the light of awareness as you're in your own transformational process. This is a powerful time. And when we're in this time of transition and transformation, it's important to honor the time of letting go, of letting the old patterns from the past be released. Allow them to die in order to prepare the space to move into these new forms. So it's a time of being in the not knowing, being in the mystery, being in the liminal time, the in-between time, where we're letting go of old patterns, but we're not clear yet what the new patterns are meant to be. And I do believe we'll get a lot of insight about that as we move into the full moon total eclipse on November 8th. But at the time of this new moon solar eclipse, allow yourself to be in the not knowing and honor that you're being held and supported in this transformational process. Look at where this new moon and solar eclipse lands in your chart. If you don't have a chart, go to astro.com and download your chart for free and look at what house, what part of your chart this new moon is landing in, and that will give you some clue as to where you may need to be in your own inner process around the transformation that you're in and what area of life that may be activating for you. Remember that this is a part of the ongoing dynamic that we have with the lunar nodes in Scorpio and Taurus, South Node in Scorpio. What are we needing to bring out of the shadows, bring out of the darkness into the light of awareness in order to move into new forms and new ways of being guided by Uranus, the ruler, the planetary ruler of Aquarius, this age that we're moving into. This is a profound time to be on the planet. It's a profound time of transformation. We're being guided by these energies of the sun and moon and stars and planets. We're also being guided by cosmic energies that are coming to us as we're moving through this powerful time where we're going through the photon belt. We're moving through this part of the galaxy that is about increased solar energies, cosmic energies, changing us physically, emotionally, energetically, spiritually. So allow this to be a time where you're honoring the transformation and the transition. And again, let it be a time where you take time to meditate, take time to reflect, allow yourself to be open to what aspects of yourself that have been hidden need to come to awareness, and what aspects of yourself are you needing to let go of because they no longer serve you and are actually blocking you from being open to move in the new directions that we're meant to move into. The other aspects that are important in this new moon, the square with Pluto, as I was talking about, also this out of sign trine with Mars. Remember, Mars is in Gemini now and will be for 7 months. That's a long period of time for Mars to be in one sign, but it's lingering in that sign of the zodiac and is in aspect to this new moon and solar eclipse. And I think it's significant that Mars at this time is squaring Neptune. And again, that means that we may not have clarity about the actions we're meant to take or the directions we're meant to move in. This is a time to be in the not knowing, to honor Neptune, being in the mystery, opening to what's coming to us intuitively, opening to what guidance is coming through the dream time. But allow yourself to not feel a clarity about your sense of direction or what next steps you're going to take or what you're moving towards in this time of change. allow yourself to be in this liminal time, this in-between time that is the preparation for the transformation that is to come. And again, with Sun and Moon in Scorpio, this may be a time where you're feeling deep emotions. You may be feeling the turbulence of the world. Those of us who are highly sensitive are impacted by the turbulence in the collective, feel the pain and suffering of those who are going through trauma and are in a time of crisis. Honor that and allow yourself to feel whatever you're feeling, but be careful that you don't get mired in the turbulence of the collective. This is an important time to stay centered and in alignment with the earth and sky, trusting and knowing that these energies of transformation are guiding us all through a time of death, rebirth, through a profound time of transformation. And we're seeing some of the shadow side of that in the collective, some of the turbulence happening around that. But allow yourself to know that there is a deeper process of transformation that's unfolding in this time. So as you're working with the energies of this solar eclipse, allow yourself to be inward, to take time alone, to meditate, to tune in to whatever you're feeling. Take time to journal. Take time to listen to your dreams. Take time to tune in to your intuition and honor that you and all of us are in this profound time of transformation, and that we are letting go of the paradigms of the past to move in new directions, to move into new ways of being. The energies of the age of Aquarius that we're moving into are about community, collaboration, justice, fairness, openness to diversity, moving into higher levels of consciousness, coming back into balance and harmony with the earth and sky, coming back into a balance with the energies of the sacred masculine and the sacred feminine. But in order to move into those new forms, we need to let the patterns and the paradigms of the past die and be deconstructed in order for us to move into these new forms. So we're being called individually into a profound time of healing and transformation. And we're being called collectively into a time of letting go of the patterns of the past to move into radically new ways of being. So honor this time of transition and transformation. Know that there is turbulence in the collective as there are power struggles and resistance to the change that's going on. But stay in alignment with your own inner knowing about the larger unfolding that we're all in, and know that we're being guided and supported by the energies of the stars and planets, the earth and sky, to move into these new ways of being. May we support each other and hold that awareness of this new way of being that we're all moving into, this new earth that we're meant to co-create together, and honor the time of the letting go of the past. Honor all that you feel, all that you're experiencing. Hold all of that with compassion and allow yourself to be in this time of mystery, in this time of not knowing, in this time of profound transformation. Blessed be.